Well, it looks like we're live. Hello. Hello, this is Lucretia with Burning Up the Roads if you're new. And I believe everybody who's here so far knows us. As a matter of fact, our guest is in the house already. Thank you for coming, Raven. I appreciate it. I'm going to say hi to some people, and then what we'll do is I'll drop the link and bring you up. And so, and then we'll get started with our interview. So as you can see, I'm outside. I was trying to find a good place in the house to kind of do this from, but I thought it would be nice to come outside. It's beautiful. It's beautiful here in Oregon, at least in the Willamette Valley. And so I thought, I don't know, it might be a good idea. It might be that it was not a good idea because I see, you can't really see me super well. And I do see you down in the basement, Raven, and I just want to say hello to people who are in the house right now. Oh, we've got a couple. We have Catherine Cook. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Catherine and Homer. Catherine and Homer Cook. Homer helped my husband so much when we were down in Quartzsite. I know I say that all the time, but it was just phenomenal what Homer did. So thank you, Homer, always and forever. And Catherine, we had a wonderful time with both of them. So thank you. Traveling Dingbats, hello to you. Thank you for being here. And then we've got Raven and Rowley. A couple things I was going to talk about before we start the show. Today we've got, let's see. What was I going to show? Oh, just to give you an idea of what we're going to be dealing with here in the Willamette Valley. Hello, Alberta Hinksman. Thank you so much for coming. We got some beautiful weather all week. Here's what Eugene is going to be dealing with for the next week. 10-day forecast. Today it's going to be high 80s, and then we're going into the 90s. And that seems a little early in the year for us to be in the 90s. Usually into August, we've got some 90-degree weather, certainly, but not the last day of May. Some nice 80s and then back into some normal weather, but it doesn't even look like we have rain in the forecast. So thank you, God, for that. We have some work to get finished on the RV, and I'll tell you about what we're planning to do there. All right, and then I want to say hello to AJ is road tripping. Hello, AJ. And Fordman, aka Kenneth Oakes. And I know, Kenneth, that you completed school. Congratulations to you, sweetheart. I hope that you are able to get a job that you love and that you excel in, because you certainly have everything any employer could want. Scott Jacobson Appreciation. Thank you for coming, Scott. Very happy to see you, and Roy and Becky, and thank you for the raid, you guys. I appreciate it very much. And then let's see, was there anything else? I don't think there's anything else. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up our guest. So we have got a special guest, wonderful woman, and her dog, Rowley, Raven and Rowley. And when you're ready, Raven, you just give me a thumbs up, dear. And I also would like to say, so if you're one of my moderators, and I need to see who I've got as moderators in here today. I don't see Kaylee yet, but if you're a moderator, I want to really try and pay attention to my guest and not have to interact as much with the audience. I want to get as much information as we can from Raven. Just make sure, if you could, to greet anybody who I might have missed, and then I'll come in over, periodically and say hello as well. So if you're ready, Raven, just give me a thumbs up. Are you ready to go? Okay, she is ready to go. Oh, there is Kaylee right there. All right. Hey, Raven, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. So first of all, I want to thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I like to, so what I like to do is I like to see and like to hear all different kinds of stories about how somebody likes to or wants to. In your case, you're in the process of getting ready to ideally go out and be more part-time or full-time.
I would like to go out full time, but
Right.
I've started this journey about 5, 6 years ago. So,
Uh,
and I'm still working on getting out there, except that I think that I'll be out within a year.
wow.
Full
So can you
time.
tell us,
Yeah.
go back in time a little bit and tell us, where you've been that led you to wanting to do this maybe?
um, a while ago, I used to own a house, sticks and bricks, three
Uh-huh.
bedrooms, the whole deal, 2 bathrooms, dining room, everything. I got to the point where we just couldn't afford it. I mean, couldn't afford to live there anymore. We were at an age where we got laid off. Actually, got laid off because of 9/11 repercussions. It spread out
Right.
through the country. People got affected. Um, couldn't get a full-time job after that. Could not. So ultimately, couldn't afford the house. And so I
Hmm.
said, well, I'm going to get an RV. I'm going to get an RV because I used to do fairs and sell books and stuff at fairs. And
Uh-huh.
I would see these people in their RVs and they would say, come join me, come join us, and I'd say, oh, no, I can't do that. I got a house. That's where it started at.
Okay. So you have an
So
RV?
that I think that's stuck in the back of my head. We moved out of the house into a Class A 35-foot, and I drove it 3,300 miles towing a car. Had never driven anything remotely that large before, ever.
Oh my.
Uh, and got into Nevada, was going to stay for a month for residency purposes, and never
Hmm.
left. Just never left. I've been in this park ever since. So I said, finally, it's time to get out. I'm 77 next month. I'll be 78. It is time
Hmm.
to get out. It's time to play. It's time to do stuff.
Sure.
So that's what I'm doing.
Well, I have to say, almost 78 years old. That's amazing in itself that you have the wherewithal in you to even want to be a full-time nomad.
I think I've always been a nomad, but just never really got out there and did it. I've moved
Hmm.
around a lot. I've always tried to get into the country, out of the cities and that kind of thing. So
Uh-huh.
I think it's always been there. It's just that I just never had the courage or the freedom to do it.
Hmm.
So now I'm free. I could do whatever I want for the rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah. That, well, you know what? Once people realize, people, if I think if more people realize they can even do that at 25 or 30 or 42,
Right.
that you can actually do whatever you want for the rest of your life. And if not, if it means not living in a sticks and bricks and living in an RV of some sort and going and living in that manner, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. I live in an RV now.
Right. Now, so
I'm
are you
living
going to
in
be
Fifth Avenue.
utilizing, uh-huh. Are you going to be using that RV to travel in, or is it going to
No,
stay where
no.
it's at? Uh,
Yeah, this RV is not roadworthy at
okay.
all. It's livable worthy, but no, I'd have to do some major stuff in order to get it roadworthy. I have a 6x12 cargo trailer that I bought somewhere between the Class A and the fifth wheel, and my
Uh-huh.
intention was to convert it into a tiny home and travel
Hmm.
with that. Uh, my problem has always been the car, the vehicle. What am I going to tow it with? And it still
Right.
is the problem. But I figure I've had this 6x12 cargo trailer now for 2 years. It's time to renovate it. I dream
Nice.
about it. I've drawn sketches of what I want. I've looked at God knows how many videos, you know, and I dream some more, and I dream about where I'm going to go with it. So it's time to do it, you know. So that's where
Right.
I'm at right now.
You know
So
that.
in the interim,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
I
no,
had
you go
never
ahead.
gone camping. I had never ever gone camping. So I went camping just to find out. I bought a tent and I took Rowley in the car and we went to Women's Caravan. And soon I'm going to go out on my own for an 8-day trip, solo,
Oh, so
with
you're not.
the tent and the car. So
Uh-huh.
I can't hook up the car is too small to tow the trailer, and I
Oh, okay.
actually have to turn that car in soon anyhow because
Mhm.
I can't afford it anymore. My income has dropped and I'm on Social Security. So it's either live here in a house, in a trailer, secure Wi-Fi, everything, or go out on the road and do whatever I need to do to get out on the road. In either case, it has to be one or the other with me because I just can't afford it. Either both of them together. I can't
Mhm.
afford to live here and go out on and have the road out there. Now, if I go out on the road and I give up the house, my daughters will kill me. They will, and I know
So you have
this, and I know it's time to not be stupid and have something as a base camp to be secure.
a. Okay. So you
Okay,
had a. Is it that the trailer that you're, or excuse me, that the fifth wheel that you're living
fifth
in
wheel.
is fifth wheel? Is that you would be able to come back to?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So I have a sticks and bricks here. It's actually was my
Mhm.
father's, and I have it to come back to as often as I want or not. But I have a son and his husband who live here as well, and so they would deal with everything when we're gone. But so you mentioned daughters. So what do they think about you being a nomad at nearly 78 years of age?
I think they've finally come to the realization that their mother is strange. That's all. They've accepted it. I said, yeah, okay. What is she doing now?
Uh,
you know.
well, there's another woman that I know and I've chatted with, and I don't know if you've seen her channel. Her name is Letty, and it's Living Life with Letty, Latty. If somebody would drop her link, she is also part time in that she has some place to come back to, and has been in her home during the COVID situation. But she is
Yes.
in that age bracket and has been out and is a really good resource for how she's figured
Well,
out some things. So if somebody could drop that, and if you want to take a look at her at later, feel free. I like to connect people up as well. All right. So
cool.
what part of the country are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Nevada.
Nevada. Oh,
In the
is it
It's hot.
getting? Are you in a warm area?
Yes. I'm south of an hour south of Vegas,
Uh,
so it's hot. It's supposed to
well,
go up to 102 this week.
oh goodness. And I thought 92 was going to be hard. It's supposed to be for a couple
Oh,
of days in the low 90s here in Eugene. I live in Eugene, Oregon, so it shouldn't be
it
quite
was
this hot yet. So you mentioned you went on. I know, and I watched a video where you went to meet some other women for a meetup.
Oh
Can you tell
yes.
us something about that?
Yes. Oh, that was terrific. That was my first ever camping experience, my first time trying to pitch a tent, my first time period. I
Mhm.
was a camping virgin. That's the way it
Wow.
was. It was fabulous. It was an unplanned, no activity meeting, supposedly, but it started off around 5:30 or so, 6 o'clock. People would get together around a propane fire in the fire
Uh-huh.
pit because there's no burn ban going on now, and it developed into in the morning. People would walk around and meet each other, greet each other. The objective was to meet one other person there, and
Mhm.
talk and get to know them, which turned out to be really good. I thought it was fabulous. I'd do it again on a heartbeat. And I came home a day early, and I don't know why I did. And well, I know why I did. It was technical stuff, but I
Uh-huh.
really want to be back out there. I'm staring at the mountains every day, and I want to get out. I'm
I
going
understand the
crazy.
feeling. Yeah. Since we've been home since the middle of March, April. So now we've been back home a couple of months, and we have to stay for a few months more because we both are. I'm getting ready to have a back surgery, and my husband will be having one as well. So it probably will be late
Mm,
fall before we can get back out. But my goal is to get.
right.
We've got some things to do. Like you're continuing to get ready, we've got to continue to get ready as well. It's a process. I don't know too many
Right.
people who just one day decided they wanted to live even part-time as a nomad, and then boom, the next day they were gone. I mean, I'm sure those people are out there,
Right.
but it is not me. Um, so, um, so you did tent camping,
Mm.
and it's uh, what was that like being a virgin camper at 77 years of age?
It was I was nervous. I was scared, anxiety, all of that stuff was going on before I drove out the door. Once I finally got in the car and I was like halfway there, it was gone. All of that fear, all of that anxiety, all of that everything that God knows what I've been thinking of has just disappeared.
Huh?
And it was. I'm sorry, I didn't. You communicated.
Oh,
Oh,
I was just saying,
there's some kind of notice. Oh, so and I forgot the question.
no, I said, so at 77, as you put it, a virgin camper in a tent.
Yes,
Okay, I'm
yes,
still trying to wrap my
yes.
mind
It was a
around
tent
that.
like.
What was that like?
Oh, the tent itself, it was great. It was great. I was
Okay.
afraid of coyotes, mountain lions, God knows what else is out there in the wild that never showed up. Um,
Thank
but
you.
I think once I got in the tent and I got everything set up and was in there, it was great. It was wonderful. It was like I felt just as secure as I do in my house. And when I got
Uh-huh.
back to the house and I'm saying to myself, well, somebody could break into the tent by just slashing it. Well, yeah, you could kick real hard on this wall and it would collapse too. If somebody was after you, they're going to be after you.
Hmm.
So I gave that fear up, and being in the tent was terrific. It was great. I have a teepee tent, so you could stand
Oh,
up in the center of it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, so
So
that was good then.
yes, yes. And I realized doing that yes, I love this because I think one of the fears was as I'm going through all of these crazies. I've been doing this for years now, trying to get ready to get out there, going to go, been dreaming since I was a kid about being out on the road and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I get out here and hate it. Suppose I hated it. I mean, that didn't happen, but suppose.
Sure. I hear you.
So yes, I loved it.
So,
I loved it. I didn't want to come home ever again.
wow. Well, I'm excited that it worked out. I really am excited that it worked out so well for you because that feeling. So we kind of had a similar experience. We loved it. We made some great connections out there. People like at 10 o'clock, 5 days a week. Roy and Becky, Roy and Becky's Travels are on every 10 to 11 Monday through Friday, and we camped with them, and they're wonderful people. And so I'm members of their channel, and I watch them. You know, I really like them. So we met some great people. Catherine Cook, who's on here, her and her husband helped us with some vehicle issues that came up, as luck would have it, and we made those kind of really I think lifelong kind of connections. How were the ladies that you camped with?
Terrific. I think all of them, all of us are introverts who need to be extrovert occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I found everyone very helpful. The advice, the conversations, it was just terrific. It was like meeting friends again that you had never met before.
Oh, one of my viewers that just came on, her handle is Oopsie, and she's an older lady too. And I like what she says. Darn, I'm late. I have to watch the beginning later. Old ladies like me trying to be free. You know, trying to be free.
Well, I got free about 2 years ago. I was 250 pounds, and I said, I could do what I want if I can get myself together here. So I had bariatric surgery and lost ultimately a total of 110 pounds, but 65 after the surgery. And now that I can stand up and do stuff and go around and get out, and that's what I'm doing. So I guess you can not only have to plan this part of your life, but the rest of your life too, as well as your budget and everything else, you know. You got to get it together if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I had to have both knees replaced before I could go out. I knew I was going to have to do that because they were bone on bone completely. There was no car. There was nothing. I mean, I was walking on gravel, and so I had those surgeries knowing that was part of my plan, is that I was going to have that done. And that's a pretty extreme extent, but the idea of this is so enthralling that I love it. I want to say hello to my little sister, Priscilla Hughes, who I was yesterday with her and her daughter. In our family, we have a ritual on someday during Memorial Weekend where we go and we put flowers on the graves of our relatives, and both of our parents have passed, and 2 sisters, and it just so happens, and we've got other people, and they're completely across the valley from each other. So it's like a 4-hour road trip to go do this once a year. But it connects us we have people who came to the valley here in wagon trains in 1846. And so it feels to me almost like nomads are a similar group of people with a similar spirit.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I found that to be the case.
A wagon train with 4 wheels. Rubber wheels. So I did also see in one of the videos about your camping trip with the ladies, you kind of could have got yourself into a medical situation.
Oh, yes, the water.
Can you warn people?
Yes, dehydration is bad news. This is the second time I've been in a very dangerous situation with dehydration. The first was right after I had surgery. I wasn't drinking enough water, and my electrolytes went down to almost nothing. I could have, within a day, I probably would have had a heart attack and died. But I felt so bad, and a neighbor stopped by and said, "Gee, you look like shit. Let's go over to the hospital." And they kept me there for 3 days, pumping me with water and various and sundry other things. This time I was out in the desert. I had set up, it was the night after we set up the tent. The first thing is that I got there late. Excuse me. No, you can't go out, Rowley. I got there late. So I was setting up the tent in the desert at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, full sun. Now, the tent only took 15 minutes to set up, but it took 2 hours to pound stakes into the ground or figure some way to stake down the tent because the ground was like concrete and like driving nails into concrete, you know. So I was exhausted from that, from too much heat, not drinking enough water, wasn't even thinking about it. Went to bed and got up during the middle of the night to pee, like us old people do, and really wasn't peeing, you know. And it never hit me that you need to drink some more water. Got up the next morning, decided, okay, let's go for a walk, Rowley. I'll make some tea later or get some water, whatever, later. And I don't think I walked a third of a mile. I'm used to walking more than a mile in the morning. And I
Uh-huh.
started feeling a little lightheaded, you know. So I stopped to talk to somebody. You know, the
Sure.
stupidity keeps, that's another thing. If you're dying, you don't know it. You really don't. Seriously.
I think
um,
you're right. Yeah.
and then leaving her, I go and I talk to somebody else. And she says to
Uh-huh.
me, could you use some water? And I said, oh, no, 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 I'm okay. I got enough in the tent. Maybe 100 feet from there to my tent, I started dry heaving. It was impossible to stop. And a woman saw me and said, you need some water. Somebody else got me a chair, sat me down, and they
Hmm.
started giving me water and gave me a glass of water. And somebody said something about Rowley needs to have some water. So I put the cup down, let him drink,
Hmm.
and finished it off. And then I stopped trying to throw up. It was like
Uh-huh.
my body was on the last dregs of liquid inside. Now, I should have realized it from having really orange urine. I should have realized it because I wasn't
Yep.
sweating. I should
Oh.
have realized it for a lot of reasons, and that I had already gone through stuff like this before. I should have known.
Hmm.
So my goal from then on has been to maintain at least 90 ounces of water per day, because obviously 60 ounces isn't making it.
Sure.
You know, it is dangerous. You will die, and you will die fast.
And
Okay.
it's not, I assume that's not a pleasant death either, dying of dehydration.
Well, you feel like you're heaving. You're throwing up. You're in stress.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a pleasant death.
Your body's talking to you,
I
and
know
it's
that.
hard to listen when you're actually in the midst of it.
Right, right. And I should
So
have known better.
we have a question here from Camping Therapy. Doreen would like to know if you were camping with Sisters on the Fly or another women's group.
I was with the Women's Caravan from HOWA, HOWA, Home on Wheels
Right.
Alliance.
Yeah.
They
How?
weren't a HOWA group. They were just a bunch of women who belonged to HOWA who went and met a group there. It wasn't sponsored by HOWA or anything. It just happened to be that we all happened to be on HOWA and got together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because one woman said, here's a spot, let's meet on that day.
Right. I think that's one of the resources I'd like to have dropped is HOWA, Homes on Wheels Alliance. If somebody could drop that link, because it is a great resource for people to connect that don't have other people yet. And that there's people there that want to go and do the same things possibly. But it's not official, HOWA.
That one wasn't official, no.
Yes, right.
But great. It was worth going.
All right, so you're gonna build out in some manner the cargo trailer, or are you gonna just continue using the tent?
I have to give up my car soon, so I'm going to have a period of time here where I won't be able to travel or do anything. So then I'm going to start working on the cargo trailer. So I'm going to totally build it out myself. When I was younger, I used to be a carpenter and I built houses and stuff. So.
Oh, cool. Do you know who Box
I don't
Van
know.
D is?
Yes.
Okay, because she's got a lot of information about building out things as well, because that's what she's done too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw her. I said, if she can do it, I can do it.
There you go.
I know how to do it. I've got the tools to do it.
You've got the tools and you've got the skill.
And I got the van. I mean, I got the cargo trailer. So, hey, go do it.
Right. Go do it. So is there a plan you have in the future where you're saying, okay, I think I would like to have all of my ducks in order by July or by October or January?
Yes, I think the absolute longest, furthest date is by November of next year, 2022. I
Mhm.
will be on the road. I have to be on the road. I'm at the point, that would be the point of no other choice.
Okay.
But I'd like to be on the road a lot sooner. You know,
Uh,
the reason I'm giving up the car before I need to give up the car is so that I can save cash, so that I can buy another car. You know,
Yeah,
I can't afford to have a car payment and a rent payment at the same time. So
sure.
therefore, there's going to be a spot where there's nothing there,
Uh-huh.
except that I'm going to be working on the trailer.
Hmm. Well, that'll give you incentive.
I think
This is my son. This is my son,
Hi.
Brent.
congratulations on your wedding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's so good to meet
Well,
you. And I hear good things, and I'm really excited for you.
cool. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. So that so a year from this November, correct? November of 22.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
and if you can do it before then, great too.
Well, I think I'll probably be finished, you know, fixing up the trailer before then. It's a matter of how much I can save to get to the
Yeah.
wheels. So assuming that the right car, the right van, the right SUV, the right something or the other turns up,
Sure.
which I've been looking at Craigslist and whatever, and I've bought cars like that before, so I'll find the right one. So I'm not really stressing over it. I'm just trying to
Uh-huh.
get it saved
Yeah.
and orderly, and so that when everything falls in a row, I can get up and go.
Hmm. Well, here's one of the things that I notice about you that I love is you have a confidence. I mean, you have a confidence that, first of all, you know what you want to do, and you believe, and you've experienced a little bit of it by camping one time, but that's still not a ton. But you still have the confidence that you can do this, and are. How did you develop that? Because that's something a lot of people lack. Is that confidence that,
I don't.
hey,
I
I
don't
can
know.
actually go do this.
I really don't know. I've been taking care of other people, doing stuff, learning stuff all my life.
Yeah.
You know, you do what you need to do. You know,
Mhm.
when they're according to the circumstances. It's like herbs and stuff. I do make tinctures and things like that because when my kids were small, you got to remember, I'm in my 70s. My kids are close to 60. You know, when they were
Uh-huh.
babies, there was no such thing as going to the doctor. If you
Right.
if you were low income, you couldn't do that. So
Mhm.
I had to learn whatever it was I needed to learn in order to keep them healthy on my own. So I developed it's somewhat knowledge of herbs and what would work with a cold and that kind of stuff, and when to take them to the doctor. You know,
Uh-huh.
so that's really pretty much how you develop it. I developed it anyway. It's just doing what was needed with the
Yeah.
best that I had at the time.
And
So
that's something that you acquire over a lifetime.
I think so. I don't think it's something you can really learn. You have to experience it. You know, you have to
Look,
come out of your own creativity when the problems hit.
uh-huh. You have a
Hi,
daughter
Maria.
here, Marie
Maria,
Davis.
yes, my daughter Maria is here. Hi, babe.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
You think I
You have a
might be
wonderful
ready
mom.
before? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take
I
just
think
a
I might be
short.
ready before.
What's that, dear?
She says, I think you might be ready before then. And I think I might be ready before November of 22 myself.
Oh, I have a feeling. My gut tells me, yeah. That's just an outside date of, necessity.
Right,
We.
right.
Let's see. Oh, I want to take just a little short 30-second break. I've got a new channel member, and I want to do a very quick thank you to my channel members. I will be right back. You don't have to go anywhere. Lily Lazaga was our new channel member, so I want to say hello, Lily. I've seen you've been in the channel today. I hope you're still here. Although she's clear, I believe, in Kuwait City, somewhere over there. So the time difference is tremendous. All right, so I'm wondering, is there some questions you might have of people that have maybe more experience? Because I know I have some people in here who have been camping for a long time in one form or another. Is there anything you're wondering about camping? Do you have questions about how might I do this? Or do you just have enough information now that you know what you want to do and how to do it?
Pretty much. I'm investigating a lot of different apps right now for off-grid staying and stuff like that, because I have one more excursion out into the wilderness. I'm going for 8 days towards the middle of, in a couple of weeks, actually 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So that's my first and second and last camping trip for a while. But I can't think of how to convert the cargo trailers. I was looking at floor underlayments, and my knowledge follows my curiosity, kind of thing. So I don't really have a question right this minute.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You don't even have a question. So you know what you're doing. And that's amen to that. I don't have a clue. No, I kind of I knew based on disability so here's the smartness of me. I go to Quartzsite, Arizona, where it's a big rock pile, basically. That's why it's called Quartzsite, Arizona. And I have a mobility disability because of a tremendous amount of nerve damage from 12 back surgeries. And so I am supposed to use a walker if I walk any distance. For stability issues, because I can't feel parts of my legs. And so I disdain it. I'm 59 years old. I don't need a walker. I do not feel weak. And that's what I see in myself. So I'm there on the second day, and some people had come to meet us, and they're like 20 feet out away from our RV. And my walker was sitting right at my RV door, and I thought to myself, I can go 20 feet without my walker in this gravel pit. And down I went. And so I was injured on day 2 of a 7-week stay out there. And so one of the things that I learned that I hadn't planned for properly was, if I was injured, how is my medical insurance going to cover me out of state? So I have a whole different view of planning now than I did, because it doesn't, unless I'm like catastrophically injured, and then they'll save my life, and that's about it. But I had to have my medications package shipped to me by my son a couple times. It was just insane, because I didn't have a plan. I just thought, I'm going to Quartzsite. You go to California, and you make a left somewhere.
Right.
just turn left in Southern California.
Well, I overplanned this first camping trip. I took way too much stuff that never even came out of the car.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have to move the car. Yeah. It taught me a lot about
if you're not busy tonight, here's something. Forever Best Friend. She's a dog channel. She says she's having a travel chat tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So it would be 7 o'clock my time, and would love to have some awesome women talk about their traveling experiences. So she's a great resource as well. Forever Best Friend. If somebody wants to drop her link, please do so. And I've got one more friend in the channel here. Van Vita Travels. She's from Canada, and she's someone who's built out her own ambulance. She's had a couple things. I think she had some assistance with it, she's a great resource as well. Van Vita Travels has a great channel, wonderful channel. Somebody drop her channel link, please, too. Okay, here's Maria. She has a question. It looks like, I want to know how safe it really is. Are there enough cell towers? My mom has always been adventurous with her children who are nervous. So it really depends on where you go, how far off grid you go. Truthfully, I know people, I had no trouble with connection where I was at, but I was in Quartzsite, Arizona, which is outside of a small town. But I don't know what your travel style is going to be. Are you going to go so off grid that you would not have access to a cell tower?
I made her promise that I wouldn't go anywhere that doesn't have cell communication. Okay.
And I'm going to let people know. Also, I'm sorry, I need one more link dropped, and it's for Kaylee Robin. Who is oh gosh, I'm trying to think of her channel name. Creativity RV. She has found, I believe, the link for people who really want to live off grid. It is it's an internet option called Nomad Internet, and she has tried everything so that people who, and she works, she's a worker, she doesn't just travel. This woman, lives and works full time, as does her partner. And so they have found an internet option for people who want to not be in a park and they don't want to have to be near a town. And she has had no trouble the last 9 months that she's used Nomad Internet. So that's just a little plug for Robin. And so if someone could drop that link with that particular show that she did this last Sunday. And there's my son, Modern King. Hello, Brent. Thank you. Forever best friends, that she loves the beauty of traveling, but I do need cell service in case of medical. Yes, right. I understand.
I have visible.com. They have a service that is $40 per month, unlimited everything. That's unlimited everything, including the hotspot.
Okay.
If you've got 3 other people that go in with you, it is $25 per month. Right. I've been with them for almost a year now, and I was paying $40 until last month when I realized that there were groups who are people out there in the world who were looking for people to join their plan. So I joined somebody else's plan, and I'm now paying $25 a month for
cool.
Unlimited everything. Cell phone, hotspot, internet, everything. So you might look it up. It's visible.com.
So I do know about Visible, and one of our people that was on here earlier, Roy and Becky Travels, they've used Visible, and I believe they're using Visible now. I know many people have a backup, like, some places you travel, like we have, oh God, I can't even think of the name of our internet and our, oh gosh. Verizon. We have Verizon, which is, I think, the parent company of Visible. But we still have places where it doesn't work. And and so it's annoying. Oopsie says she uses Visible. And Naj, I do know what you're talking about. That's called a PLB, personal locator beacon. And if we were going to do a really deep off-grid, I would have one. Those are one of the options is one that really, it's a life and death. They will come and get you if it's life and death. But if they come and get you and you have a stub toe and you're just struggling walking, they will not be happy and you will owe a bill. But if you're gonna, like, there's people who backpack, they go deep and then they go backpack, and that's not really off grid. And so those are people that a personal locator beacon is ideal for.
Yes.
Thank you, Ford Man. Kenneth, thank you so much for that. We have Verizon and Xfinity. Xfinity is our internet, Verizon is our phones. All right, so where would you like to go? Do you have any place you're hoping to see that's on a bucket list, maybe?
Oh, I've got to get out to the Pacific Ocean, put my feet in it, maybe swim.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I got to do that. Yosemite, Grand Canyon, you know, all of the big places, Redwood Forest. I want to do the national, all of the outside places.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I want to get up into Alaska, go into Oregon. I want to go up and down the West Coast, and maybe I might travel. Sooner or later, I will travel to the East Coast because I got to go see my relatives. I haven't seen anybody for years and years and years. You know. But yeah, I'm gonna go up and down the West Coast first.
We live halfway between the ocean here in Oregon and Central Oregon. We're in a valley that's an hour either direction. If I want the ocean, it's 1 hour away. If I want mountains, it's 1 hour away. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my son says, Raven, come visit Oregon. We could do a coastal trip.
Sounds good.
We love the coast.
Sounds good.
We love the ocean. It's not a very warm ocean. I just want to warn you, you know, but yeah, it's fun. Beautiful, beautiful. It's beautiful here. That's all I can say. Beautiful. Well, let's see. So back east, so you know that there isn't, I didn't know this, and that's the reason I'm saying it. And you've done so much research, you probably already know this, but there isn't as much national forest and BLM land on the east side of the Mississippi, I understand. So camping is not as available.
There's also a problem with bridges and whatnot. They have a lot of stone bridges in New Hampshire, New York, upstate New York, and stuff like that. And so a lot of the roads, if you have a large rig, you just can't drive on them. And they're very narrow because they're very old.
Yes, yes.
So, and no real campgrounds. There's really no way to do this on the East Coast unless you're in a smaller vehicle. You couldn't go in a regular RV. I mean, you could, but it's difficult.
Oopsie, which PLB is best? So that really depends on what your need is. If you want it solely for a life and death emergency, there's one, but then there's also another one that they'll bring you gas, and also you can connect with people through texting. And so those as it adds layers of options, the prices go up. And I do know that I'm trying to think of who did a really good comparison of all of the big ones. I don't think it was me. More than likely, Bob Wells has done it. But I do think that Robin, Creativity RV, has one, a link to hers. If anybody could check Robin's for a PLB upload, I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I will try to find it for you, Oopsie. And if you can leave me your information on the email, I will put my email address in here so that you can reach me easily most of the time. All right, where did it go? I know I have my email in here somewhere. There we go. So there's my email, and anybody's free to use it. I love talking to people, chatting with people. So the West Coast, certainly, and you know what? More people than I can count. That is their West Coast is their place they really want to see. I'd like to go to New York City personally. I want to go to Washington, D.C. Those are a couple of the big places I'd like to see.
Right. I was born in New York City. I couldn't get away fast enough.
Okay. How old were you when you left New York City?
35.
35.
So I have only been back for 2 or 3 days at a time since, maybe once every 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So,
See,
and I haven't been back since my mother died. So,
okay. I just would love to see, there's so many things I'd like to see. And, you know, unfortunately, that's based on what I see on TV.
it's a beautiful place. It's wonderful. I mean, I love the museum. I miss the museums. I miss the food. I miss everything about New York City except living there. You know, the stores, you can go around the corner and go to a completely another world, another neighborhood, another food, another restaurants, another clothing. I mean, it's just amazing place. And the architecture is just terrific. When I was a kid, there was 104 museums, and I tried to visit all of them. I think I made about half of them, but all of them in the middle of New York City. Yes, beautiful place, wonderful place.
See, that's one of the things. Yeah, I want to go to Central Park. I mean, and I'm a zoo person, so I love animals, and I really, I watch a show that is based out of the Bronx Zoo, and and I love it. I love the
Bronx Zoo.
Yes. So you've been there.
Yes, and the botanical gardens. They walk the elephants in the Bronx Zoo. I mean, you could be in there, you know, visiting, looking at the monkeys, whatever it is, and you'll turn around and they'll be walking elephants by, or they'll be walking a herd of ducks by, or you know, right in the road with everybody else, you know, or you'll see the peacocks up on the roof, things like that. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. So the zoos,
and you can tell the animals live.
That looks like they're very well taken care of, and that it is not just a zoo. They're there to help continue on animals that are going extinct. So it has a mission.
Yes.
And
I did a 5-mile race in that zoo.
Really?
Yeah, they used to have the Legs mini marathons, and then they ran through the zoo, or they would go through the park or whatever in the city. That's a long time ago, though. I mean, who wears pantyhose anymore? Even knows what Legs is.
I know.
Legs company is.
Yeah. Naj loves Washington, D.C., one of the cities I too would like to see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's worth visiting.
I'd love to go to see a Supreme Court process in action someday. Just 10 years ago, I was working on a master's degree in health policy, and before my back started collapsing, and so my goal was to be a policy advisor on healthcare. And so part of that happens to be that there's laws about it, and I would love to see how the in-person, some Supreme Court stuff and some legislative stuff. You know, it's just part of my passion in life that was all for many years was to try and find a way to help people have their needs met. And so I'd like to go to where that really happens at in this country. Just one moment. Hi.
Hey.
Oh gosh, I'm on a live stream right now.
Oh.
Let me let's see. One moment. Brent, can you get your dad, please? Thank you.
I was just talking to him.
Oh, you were? All right.
Yeah, he said you were back here, so okay.
Okay. Well, I'm doing a live stream, but yeah, I'm glad you came. And did he talk to you about the rototilling?
We haven't talked. No, we haven't talked about it.
Okay.
He just told me you were back here, so I said okay.
All right. Well, he's gonna. Since I'm chatting with some people and a wonderful lady. I can't talk right now, but yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got some. Here's Kaylee says PRB. So it's actually a PLB, personal locator beacon, Kaylee. And there's a variety of kinds. And what they're meant for originally was to help people in a life and death emergency. Let's say you go way off grid and you've broken your leg and you can't literally maybe get back to your rig. You would activate that beacon, and the beacon will connect with a satellite that connects emergency help. He went back. Sends emergency help your direction, and they will come and get you. But if that particular beacon is used for anything other than really, I'm going to die if I don't get help, there are issues related to that. What, Brent? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pause this.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me, but Priscilla Hughes says, does the zoo have any type of outreach to end trophy hunting?
You know what? Oh, I think, I don't know if they do, Priscilla, but I know that they're against that. Obviously, I'd blink every time I have. That is something that they are in opposition to, because they're trying to save, like, the northern white rhino. There's like a handful of them left in the world, and where they come from, they're poached for their horns, and so they've been working so hard to preserve the northern white rhino, and that is a rhino that will probably go extinct if not for the zoos working to stop that. So Kaylee, the personal locator beacon. So you can look up personal locator beacon, and it will show you a variety of them. And they are definitely, there's something I'd like to have that we could use other than for life and death. You know, let's say we're somewhere and we've got a flat tire, and you know, our spare is flat, you know, something has happened, and it allows you the flexibility to contact people for other reasons. So that's what personal, so some you can just buy and you know, you don't pay a monthly fee. Some you buy and then you pay a monthly fee. It just depends on what service you're looking for. Joy Route, hello, thank you for coming. Let's just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So we are now, okay. Oh, Priscilla says, she is my little sister, because ending trophy hunting will help the extension. Okay, yes. And you know that where that trophy hunting happens, they're aggressively trying to stop it. I mean, they have military in these places, they have police in these places, really working hard to stop trophy hunting. I personally disdain it. So yeah, I think it should be illegal everywhere. All right, let's see if we've got any. So is there any other questions that you might have for Raven? And how is Rowley? You want to tell us about Rowley? Everybody needs to know. There's a
it's Rowley.
Rowley. Okay, Raven and Rowley. You want to tell us a little bit about Rowley?
Yeah, he's a Chizer, Chizer. I found that out about a week ago. It was just half Chihuahua and half miniature Schnauzer. So his head looks like he's like, come up here, Rowley, come. It looks like my mind is going dead. He looks like, his head looks like a Chihuahua, and his body looks like a Schnauzer. But anyway, I got him from a neighbor. I had just gotten out of a bad marriage, and said that I was not going to take care of anyone ever again, or nothing at all, for at least a year and a day. Well, 6 months later, I went over to a friend's house, and he was over there, and he came over and licked my fingertips, which was kind of weird. I thought it was kind of, I wasn't looking for a dog or anything. And she said, I've never seen him do anything like that before. This is amazing, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, at some point, I think it was right after my episode with dehydration, after I had the bariatric surgery, that I said, I need something. I need a dog. I need to get up and get out and walk and stuff like that. And if I don't have a reason to do this, I'm not going to do it. So I called her up and said, you know, you said, you know, you were going to you're looking for a home for him and that kind of stuff. She brought him over immediately. It was Christmas Eve.
Oh,
I
wow.
was not ready. Had no. She brought dog food. She brought everything. But then I find out later on that he was a rescue. He,
Oh,
she had had him for a year and got him as a companion to her dog, and they didn't get along. They would get into blood battles almost, and he would mark her house constantly. And I'm surprised that she kept him for a year. I don't know if I would have under those circumstances. He's never done anything like that here, but I found that Chihuahuas and Schnauzers are both one people dog or one
hmm.
dog people. You know, they can only be one on one. They can't. They have a hard time with anything else. But
Uh-huh.
he had terrible anxiety. He was in very bad shape emotionally. He barked and he wouldn't let me touch him for about a
Oh,
week. After he was here in the house, he kept running away. He was trying to get back to her. But
mhm.
he's a great dog. He's a terrific dog. He's very loving, very huggable.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, she ended up living right next door. So she sees him every day. And so he'll sit on the bed and look out the window, and he's trying to get over there. So as soon as she opens her door, he wants to go outside and go say hello. And he only stays there long enough to steal one of her toys, her
Oh,
dog's toys, and bring it back.
oh.
That's it. So I have a floor full of toys, and the thing is that he knows when toys are missing. I've
Mhm.
tried picking up things and packing them away because, I mean, really, do you need 20 stuffed toys on the floor? you know,
Right,
that kind of thing.
exactly.
But he knows they're gone. He will spend hours looking for it. He's just sniffing around, trying to find it. Where did I put it? He'll come stand and stare at me. You did it. I know you did it. Kind of thing.
That's
Right.
funny. Oh gosh.
So I
We
took him to. Oh, I'm sorry. I took him
what
to
was
the
that?
vet 2 weeks ago to get it. I took him to the vet 2 weeks ago to get his
Uh-huh.
rabies shot, and he limped around. I mean, his legs swelled up a little bit, but there was no hot spots, nothing like that. And he
Mhm.
was like limping, and then he would limp on the other leg, and then he'd limp back on that leg, and then we'd go outside, and he would limp, and then start running, and he'd run like crazy, and there'd be no limp. And as soon as
Oh.
he stopped, he'd be limping again. I said, "Oh yeah, okay, I see the game." He's okay.
Um, we have a
He's
we had a dog, a Rottweiler, and we had her for about 7 years, and then she ended up with lymphoma cancer, and she died about 30 days after her diagnosis. And I said, I don't want another dog. I love them so much. It's really akin to the death of a human for me. Very similar. And
yes.
I had had enough. Okay. And I'm never having another dog. Well, in comes my nephew, my grown nephew, with some dogs, a pit bull that I fell in love with. Loki was just, he helped me recover from one of my surgeries. The most loving dog would sleep with us. Um, uh, and literally get under the covers. Loki liked to be under the covers. And then
Yes.
they
Rowley
moved,
does
and
too.
we kept a dog. We kept a beagle. And she really, she's in control. And she'll come if she wants something to eat. She'll come and she'll sit, and she just sits and looks at me. She doesn't go to Richard. She comes to me because I'm the person who
Right.
feeds. And so, Raven, I know I've kept you over a few minutes, but I have so appreciated you coming and chatting with us. Is there anything that you'd like to leave with us? Any thoughts or anything?
Get out there and do it. Just do it. Like the commercial says, do it. I mean, you don't know how much time you got left. I'm counting
Yeah.
on that. The people in my family live very long. So I figure maybe if I'm really lucky, I got 20, 25 years left to go play. Go play. Go play now. Now, don't wait. Don't blow the time. Because I might drop dead tomorrow from the exhaustion or whatever. You know.
Try not to do that.
So that I'll leave you. I'll try not to do that. I'm really working on
and
that.
Please, if you're not subscribed to Raven and Rowley, please go subscribe. You will not regret that. And watch her videos. She's got some excellent videos, and I know she's got more coming eventually. And just follow her journey. I'm going to follow your journey, Raven, because I think you have a story to tell through this process. And at 69 years of age, there's no reason, despite my disabilities, that I can't go have fun still. I have to do it a little differently. I have a Class C, but I can still do it. Oh, and I forgot to ask you one question. And, you know, this is a question every good interviewer asks. Where's your toilet at in your travel process?
Oh, I use the bucket system. I have in my RV right now because it was such the black tank was damaged and whatnot. I use a composting system in the house, and I have for 2 years. And if you keep the urine separate from the feces, you have no smell. Absolutely. You have a really good video on this, so I want to make sure that if you have any questions about it, go watch her video on this stuff. All right, Raven. Well, I appreciate you coming. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me.
And if you ever want to come back, if you have some new, adventure you want to come and share it with us, please just come to my email, come to my lives, and we'll get you back up because I really enjoyed you. All right. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed being here.
You have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So, okay. So thank you guys for hanging out today and meeting Raven and Rowley. You'll see him, Rowley. You'll see Rowley eventually. He's an adorable dog. I understand when dogs decide they don't want to show their face on camera. Although all the dogs we have, they love camera. And I really am so grateful for all of you. And I once again want to run my members list because I appreciate them. And I want to also let you know, if you're here and if you're one of our partners, that I'm going to schedule our first little live stream together for next, I'm going to shoot for next Sunday, like in the middle of the day when there's no live streams going on. And we'll talk about where we're going to go with partners and what kind of ways we can help each other. And in the meantime, I'm going to give you guys lots of shout outs at all levels. If you're a channel member, I want people to know that you are a supporter of our channel. So I'm going to run this again before we leave. All right. All right. Well, could you, and one last bit of feedback, if you liked the stream outside, Kaylee said she heard some weird feedback. If you like the stream outside, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it outside, give me a thumbs down. That doesn't mean that we won't ever do another outside live stream, but I would like to know what you prefer. And thank you, Kenneth Oakes. And if you are a moderator, please drop your link before we go. And I had a great day yesterday. Richard and I, my little sister, Richard, I, and Brent went to do our yearly ritual of putting flowers on the graves of our relatives, and a couple of those are in pioneer cemeteries. And I think I'm going to do a video about those because they're very interesting, by the way. People who came into this particular area in the 1800s. And so I'm thinking about doing that. Catherine, okay, so we've got Ford Man, thumbs up. Catherine, Kaylee, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to fix those. I'm going to go take them down until I can fix them. And I'm going to try and get them fixed today. So it looks like those that are here and that gave us some feedback or thumbs up. So it'll be back and forth. And I do like being outside as much as possible. And we will, of course, be sometimes in places we will be camping. And we're planning on going over the 4th of July. That's what I was going to share with you, to the coast with family. We'll have our RV. And I think they're going to be able to stay in some cabins that are right there that don't have an RV. So thank you guys so much for coming today. I love you. Be safe, be healthy, and stay kind to each other.